The Hamas chief, Yahya Sinwar, is dead. Hezbollah chief, Hasan Nasrallah, is dead. Israel also claims to have eliminated Hashem Safieddine, who was a potential successor in Hezbollah. Now, Israel has conducted airstrikes on military targets in Iran. The IDF launched these strikes in response to attacks from Iran and its proxies, including a significant missile barrage earlier this month. The operation involved multiple waves of airstrikes targeting Iranian military installations, focusing on air defense systems and ballistic missile manufacturing sites.
I can now confirm that we have concluded the Israeli response to Iran's attack against Israel. We conducted targeted and precise strikes on military targets in Iran, thwarting immediate threats to the State of Israel. The Israel Defense Forces has fulfilled its mission. If the regime in Iran were to make the mistake of beginning a new round of escalation, we will be obligated to respond. Our message is clear. All those who threaten the State of Israel and seek to drag the region into wider escalation will pay a heavy price.
The situation is tense, with both sides on high alert for potential retaliation. It's a complex and volatile situation that could have significant implications for the region and beyond. However, the U.S. believes that Israel is achieving its goals. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to Israel on October 22 clearly demonstrates the U.S.'s desire for a ceasefire. But remember what Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has just said.
Yahya Sinwar is dead. He was killed in Rafah by the brave soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces. While this is not the end of the war in Gaza, it's the beginning of the end.
Well, Blinken has urged Netanyahu to revive ceasefire talks to end the war in Gaza and has pressed for more aid to be allowed to enter the Palestinian territory. The visit got off to an inauspicious start for Hezbollah as it launched, in fact, medium-range missiles towards Tel Aviv, temporarily shutting down Ben Gurion Airport, where Blinken had landed. The U.S. is deeply involved in this conflict.
October 7th, a year ago, Israel has achieved most of its strategic objectives when it comes to Gaza, all with the idea of making sure that October 7th could never happen again. In the space of a year, it's managed to dismantle Hamas's military capacity. It's destroyed a bunch of its arsenal. It's eliminated its senior leadership, including, most recently, Yahya Sinwar. This has come at the cost, great cost, to Palestinian civilians in Gaza. Now is the time to turn those successes into an enduring strategic success. And there are really two things left to do. Get the hostages home and bring the war to an end with an understanding of what will follow.
Blinken repeated that the United States has rejected any Israeli occupation of Gaza and said that he had been assured by Netanyahu that Israel had no plans, despite pressure from many in his own party to allow settlers to return. Now, Western allies of Israel see Yahya Sinwar's killing last week as a potential breakthrough by providing Netanyahu's far-right government political cover to assert that its objectives have been achieved in Gaza. But Israel refuses to do so. For its part, Hamas has refused to free scores of hostages in Gaza seized in its October 7, 2023 raid on Israel without an Israeli pledge to end the war and pull out of its territory. The fight is now beyond territory. It has now become a fight for the people, the hostages whose future hang in the balance of a promise. But as Blinken met Israeli leaders, Hezbollah ruled out entering negotiations with Israel while the fighting continues. Hezbollah also claimed responsibility for a drone attack targeting Netanyahu's holiday home on Saturday. Iran is on its toes, retaliating against Israel in every possible way. Early on Tuesday, Hezbollah said that it had launched a volley of rockets at two Israeli military bases near Tel Aviv, as well as a naval base in Haifa. Israel declared a state of emergency in the Tel Aviv area, and the emergency service reported a man injured by falling debris in the northern town of Maghan Michael. So here's the question. With no clear enemy, does Israel think that it has the upper hand to focus on a hostage deal? And will the US be able to convince Israel? Reports that, in fact, two parallel deals are already on the table. That's what people say. You know, Israel attempts to make progress towards a deal with Hamas that would see the release of hostages in Gaza. Moreover, the backdrop of the violence to Blinken's visit, it serves to illustrate the sparse hope that his visit will result in a breakthrough. Amid peace talks by Blinken, in fact, Israeli strikes pounded Beirut's southern suburbs on Wednesday, and Hezbollah said that it had fired precision-guided missiles for the first time at Israeli targets. Israel has 1 month to implement significant improvements to the humanitarian situation in Gaza or jeopardize the continued supply of US weapons. But the lingering question is, when will all this end? With the US taking a more direct role in the conflict resolution, will their efforts work in favor of the hostages? In the end, is this about the hostages at all? Have they been forgotten, like many of the others caught in the crossfire? It's a heartbreaking situation, and the safety and well-being of the hostages should indeed be a priority.